Hello, everybody, and here we have also with us today the Olympic sailor Jyrki Järvi. Welcome. I heard from the little birds that you turned 60 this year. Is this true?
Yes, that's correct.
You had your birthday in February, and your Olympic medal, gold medal with Thomas Johansson, was 26 years ago. So that's a while in Sydney. But you are a professional sailor and you have a wonderful life with the oceans, and you teach people about sailing, but you also do that yourself. Are you at the moment by the oceans?
Oh, yes, I'm in Finnish archipelago and teaching sailing here. And yes, 26 years ago, yeah, from Sydney Olympics. Sounds like a big number when you say it aloud.
I would say today, having to known you for quite a while, that you are an oceans influencer as well. You teach people, you have the great message to protect the oceans. And today we will speak about the competition brilliantblue.org, which is a Canadian-based competition for the students and high school young. And we're hoping that they will join also here in Finland to tell their ideas. And quickly, before we begin to speak more with Jyrki Järvi, I'll tell you about the competition that there are three categories. I'll say them from here. Marine renewable energy, where teams will conceptualize a power generator that is environmentally friendly. And then the second category is marine autonomous systems, where systems will create a system that helps to explore the depths of the oceans. And then the third is healthy marine life, where teams will develop a solution that improves the quality of the ocean water. And these are quite attractive. If I was young, I would join definitely. But now we have come across a little bit of shyness with Finnish students to think that their opinion really matters, that they would come out and say it in a public video. What kind of a message would you have for them, Jyrki?
This The topics are really interesting and important. So have a good thought and open mind to innovate ideas and questions about these topics. Oceans are such a big part of our globe, and especially the depth, what's happening under the surface, in a deep sea. That's all the fishes and whales and dolphins and the marine life. It's much more important than we often think.
I've been promoting this competition from the Finnish national side here quite long in high schools. And when I meet students there, they have a lot of ideas. They're really enthusiastic about the oceans and very aware as well, and they want to learn. And the same time as I present these three categories, which can be kind of high tech as well, they want to speak what they feel about the oceans. And they want to say, I'm worried about the planktons. I'm worried about deep sea mining. What about the polar bears? What is going on up with the ice, at the Antarctica or something? So they're quite aware of what's going on, and they learn in the schools, but they study themselves. And I think this is quite a new generation. How do you feel about that, Jyrki?
Oh, I feel that it's so nice to hear that the young people are thinking and feeling like that, and it's I could just say that it's not impossible to make a change. And even like 100 years ago, when the people were still hunting the whales, and and the whale population was almost vanishing, uh, people were already back in 100 years ago able to make a change and stopping the whale hunting. And it's such a big, huge, important decision made long time ago, and and nowadays we can see that the whale population is gradually coming bigger and better. So this kind of change can be done now as well, and it's usually the young people who have the best ideas and sort of thinking out of limitations. So that's great.
I've been seeing a couple of young, I call them students, but sometimes I tell them you're actually teachers, because they're so aware and their life is so digital now, so
Yeah.
international, that they can come and say, hey, let's do this TikTok idea. Let's make all these like scientist material from the older adults into 1 minute videos and spread those globally. I'm like, wow, you're
Yes.
giving new angles, which are not new for them at all. And
Yeah. Very
that,
good example. Like we are the older generations. We are so much sort of in old world. So that these kind of ideas and thinking that how to spread the ideas and how to communicate young people are so much better in that than we are.
you're such a wonderful messenger of the oceans, because not only as an Olympic sailor, which is a huge achievement with Thomas Johansson in Sydney, but about the oceans and your life with the oceans, and practically, the boat is part of you, and everything you've seen in the world. What would you like to tell to the young about the oceans that you've seen?
This yeah, personally, like just for me, the ocean and being on the water, is it a lake or Gulf of Finland or bigger ocean, it's always like a calming factor for me. And that's why I end up sailing and coaching and traveling around the world. And being on the ocean, that's just guided me to oceans. But maybe the big learnings, what I have seen around the world, that how much sort of how fragile and how easy it is for us humans to make a damage into the oceans, like fishing nets and the trash we are throwing. Big part of the trash is actually sinking into the ocean. Only small part of the plastic will float, and that's we see the floating trash. But when I'm organizing training racings, for example, and throwing anchors, because we use buoys, in some places of the world, you get almost every time you pull the anchor up, there is some trash attached to the anchor, and that's always every time I pull something with the anchor, something that doesn't belong into the sea. It makes me sad, and thinking about how we should try to stop this, and that kind of ideas I would like to, for example, see that how we are communicating for bigger population or bigger part of the humans, that we really have to think about in everyday life, that how we can affect that we are not increasing, how we are talking more about the damage we are doing to the ocean, because if the oceans are not well, we are not well, and if the ocean doesn't produce the oxygen, and there will be much less oxygen in the world, and the fish and the whole ocean life is such a big part of the global of our world, and there is so much life, like you said, ice bears, penguins, fish, whales, dolphins, planktons. There's so much sharks, so much in the ocean, and it's much more important to humans. Even most of the humans live on the land, but it's so important to everyone that the oceans are doing well.
Brilliant Blue Challenge is a Canadian-based competition that is now for the second time in Finland and the first time in Scandinavia. And when I look at their world map, all the participants across the world, I feel so proud that we participated last year for the first time. And it was a high school here in Rovaniemi, Lyseonpuisto High School. And the students were really courageous. I was sitting next to them when there was an online final show, and they told their idea to the whole world, and that was recorded. And I was just extremely, happy about this courageous part in them, and just watching these beautiful ladies do that. And so this year we are trying to get people more to participate. But here up in Scandinavia, it has been a bit of a challenge, even though the competition is so much fun. And with Jyrki, we're kind of trying to make the young to know their value in this, because this will be your planet, this will be your world for the young. And our message is that believe in your own opinions, that everybody is important, everybody who cares for the oceans has a value, and not to be afraid to say your ideas and opinions out loud, but to join this program and to join the whole world actually in this, not only this one, but in other things, and so that we can still do something when it's time, if there is time. And when you mentioned the whales and plankton, the smallest creature has unity with the biggest one, because they're related in their food chain, whole sector. So related in quotes. So this is really interesting how everything is a unity. Like we look at the cold and the warm, the water cycles, the clouds, the rains, the oceans, everything is intertwined. So what can we say to the young so that they would become like a big global network about the oceans? What is our message for them to become more active?
Yeah, just start participating competitions like this, or just do things. Even you would be really young and don't know yet about so much about the topic. You will learn by doing, and it's not a big deal if you what's your experience, or if you don't have experience, just keep on doing and learning. You will much faster than you believe. You will become much more skillful, and much more your understanding grows really fast if you just keep on doing.
Tell us a funny story about sailing at the vast oceans. Of course, there's many stories how people get to know each other well in a boat, but what about the ocean? When you've been there alone at a lonely time, is there a funny story you could tell us of your journeys?
Yeah, there are many, but maybe we might sometimes even meeting the sea life can be really funny, especially like even in the Gulf of Finland, you see nowadays more and more seals, which and the seals are, when you see the seal from the few meters and they are staring you, the big blue, big dark eyes, they look very human. When you see their eyes very closely, generally you start thinking that they have strong feelings, and they look very sort of friendly and curious. So I was crossing with a small motorboat, Gulf of Finland, from Tallinn to Helsinki a couple of years ago, and I was just cruising around towards Helsinki and in my own thoughts. And then suddenly in my corner, I saw that there's a big wave, and I thought it was a fish or something jumping, and then I turned to watch there, and it's already disappeared. And then I stopped the boat and waited for a while to see the fish again. Maybe it wasn't a fish, it was a seal. who just came to and picked me, and then suddenly the seal came very close to my boat and start like because I stopped the engine and I wasn't noisy anymore, and I was still so he or she got curious and popped out his head very close, and it was like a nice moment. We were both staring to each other a few seconds and thinking that like what he is doing there, what he is doing here, and it was just a fun moment to sort of had like a both really interested about each other. What's happening? Why is he here? And that was just a very memorable moment. That in the middle of the sea, that I couldn't see the coastline on the either side. So the seals are traveling quite long ways to find a fish, something to eat, and this was a fun moment. I still always remember it from the seals.
That reminds me a lot of a passion that I have for the oceans. It's like there's never a boring moment by the ocean. There's
No.
always something to see, and it's be day be night. It's always alive. There's something happening,
Yes.
and there can be a quiet moment, but still it's like evolving. It's always changing.
Yeah, you have to keep your eyes open, and also that the weather can change very rapidly, and have to have a sort of a sense of have to be aware of what's happening, what's going on, and that's usually it's just beautiful and nice things. But sometimes when the weather turns bad, you have to respect the oceans. That the environment is much always stronger than we are, and we have to also remember that we should behave, we should respect the environment and also the other animals over there. We are just one of them. We are not more important or bigger, or we're just one of the other animals.
That's so true, and it's also really interesting. Like all you have to do is sit in a boat on the way to Tallinn from Helsinki, and if it's a cold fall day, you just see the waves, and there doesn't have to be a single marine animal. The cold can kill you there. So it's
Yes.
really to respect the ocean, and the waters by Helsinki shore are not even that deep, and still the power of the ocean is huge. And when we go down to the Pacific, that's a whole different story there. So
yeah, and different kind of water, maybe more clear, and you see different animals, different weather, but still it's still the same, that you sort of, it always reminds that how small we are.